Well, hello my dear friends, my followers and everyone who happened to watch this video. Today I'm going to speak a little bit about the huge problem which is caused by selfies, masks and digital world of selfies and Insta selfies. I'm sure that you heard about it because there are plenty of reports from psychologists on the matter. Let's be frank. Long before smartphones and the front cameras, people were experimenting with self-portraits, including photography. Since 19th century, there are evidence of self-portraits. It's not the problem to make a self-portrait. The problem is in the mechanics of the smartphone camera that make us look not quite ourselves. There are several reasons for it. And I'm sure that the intention of the engineers is to make us look better for ourselves, but the outcome is quite different because we just lose this feeling of our natural appearance. What I mean, there are several technical specifics, some things that cause this. The first thing is the angle and the focal length of the smartphone camera, especially the front camera. Speaking of it, I should mention that the natural angle and the natural focal length that provide such angle is 35 millimeters for the distance, I would say, and for the portraits, and it is considered the most natural focal length that is similar to the way we see the world with our eyes. The best focal length for the portraits is 50 millimeters because it's not that natural for the longer distances, but for portraits it makes people look the best and the more natural without any proportional changes and any other stuff like this. Speaking about the smartphone camera, the focal length is much less and it causes two things. First of all, it emphasizes the front parts of our face, the nose and the eyes. You may say that no, the front parts of our face, but it actually is, because the eyes is the first thing people notice when they look at the portrait. It's psychological aspect, and that's why the first thing we see on any picture is the person, because of the eyes. And due to the focal length, we have this effect that our features are slimmer, the eyes are a little bit bigger, and if you move closer, you see that the proportions are changing. The nose is emphasized, but the eyes look even bigger. Well, it's considered that this way we kind of look more attractive. But the truth is that we look not very realistic, because as for me, for example, I have a long face, not really long, but like an oval face, and you can see that I look my face is not that long in reality, and I know this. So when you getting used to seeing yourself this way, you will find yourself much more round, even fat in some cases, when you see yourself on the normal camera. In addition, at some point, the engineers of the smartphones made this function that the front camera mirrors the picture. It means that you see yourself on the picture the way you see yourself in the mirror. But the problem is that people don't see you this way. We don't see each other through the mirror, we see each other like, you know, my right side is your left side and my left side is your right side. And in the mirror, it is switched. That's why you look absolutely natural for yourself on your selfie, but you don't look quite yourself for other people. And the problem is that when you see yourself on other pictures without mirroring, you can't recognize yourself. And self-recognition is the crucial aspect of confidence, of mental problems, because, you know, it's a thing that surgeons, for example, plastic surgeons, work with. If a person don't recognize himself after the surgery, it causes awful consequences. And unfortunately, these features in the smartphone, or the cameras of the smartphone, causes quite the same, because we stop recognizing ourselves, and it means that we just can't really be objective. You see, that's why if you notice that many people are trying to change themselves to look better on the photo, to look proportionally better, because if a person has some special things about the proportions of their face, they try to make them fit somehow on the photo, and it's not really good, because naturally in our life, it's most likely that people don't really notice these issues, you know. So when people try to fit themselves in this, you know, in the selfie style, in the selfie photography, they stop looking quite themselves in real life. It's very noticeable, and that's why there's a huge movement, photoing without filters, no masks, and etc., because it's really crucial to not losing objectiveness when you look at yourself. I would recommend several things. First of all, no face tuning. Please don't do this. It's not needed. The good light works much better. Face tune is a thing that just kills your features. It makes you look just as anyone else who use this face tune thing. The second thing is switch off the mirroring option in settings of the camera. You will find out that when you first do this, it will look quite strange, but anyway, it looks better. It will look more natural and for people around. And one thing that I'm doing personally, because of this length of my face, I switch it back to my normal length of face, because, you know, I used to make so many self-portraits before the smartphone era, and I know how my face should look on the photo. I know the proportions, and the proportions with different focal lenses, you know, for the matter, for the 50 millimeters, for, I don't know, 105 millimeter, for 24 millimeters, and there's a huge difference, and I know exactly how my face should look. So I can proportionally, I can reach this, I can turn it back inside the Lightroom or something. So if you do a lot of self-portraits and you somehow stopped recognizing yourself, it's the problem of you making too many selfies. For the photographer, that's a huge thing, because you see, people, you can make all the good photos, you know, the photos that really shows the person the way he looks in reality, but the person wouldn't like it. It happens so often these days, when you see, everybody sees that the photos are really good, natural and pleasant, and the person looks at it and see, well, I'm bigger here, I'm older here, I'm not quite myself. Sure, because the normal photo doesn't look like a face-tuned selfie or the masks inside the Instagram or anything like this. You can have all the fun with all these features, but keep in mind that they cause the issues with self-recognition, and it's very, very important. It's a psychological aspect. I recommend to use the selfie camera, the front camera, less often, and experiment with selfies on the normal camera. It's always better. Proportionally, front camera is really not that good for realization. See, I had actually more than 4 pages of written text for this video, and I would say even more, but I've said a lot already, and I hope that you eventually understand that overusing of these features is not what you want to have in your life. As usual, I'm all open for the messages, for the comments, and for the suggestions to the future video and topics. Bye!